Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jordan, and I'm currently on a musical journey that has led me to Pink Floyd. Now, I just got done listening to their performance or watching their performance of Comfortably Numb for the very first time. It was my introduction to Pink Floyd. Interesting song. I struggled a little bit understanding some of the lyrics and what they were talking about. But the guitar riff and just the overall performance really struck me. But I want to dig deeper. So today, I'm going to be dissecting some of these lyrics and learning more about the song because I feel it's only right. And then after that, I'm going to watch another live performance, a massively popular live performance of Comfortably Numb. So let's hop right in. Thanks for joining me. All right, so on Genius, we have a little note here that says Pink's emotional journey into the past is both interrupted and heightened when his management breaks into the hotel room and has a doctor inject him with a drug that will snap him out of his drug-induced malaise, ensuring that he can still perform at a concert later that evening. Roger Waters wrote the lyrics inspired by an experience where he was injected with tranquilizers before a 1977 concert in Philadelphia. That was the longest 2 hours of my life, he says, trying to do a show when you can hardly lift your arm. What? So that's what the song's about? He was injected with a drug that snapped him out of his drug-induced malaise so he could perform later that evening. And Roger Waters wrote the lyrics, inspired based on an experience he had. Okay, let's break it down, everybody. So we start with the intro. Let's see what it says. At times, the song is played along with the weird transition that closes the previous track, featuring knocks on the door and shouts of time to go. And Are You Feeling Okay? Representing Pink's management trying to reach the knocked out singer from inside his room, along with a repeated, Is there anybody out there? Okay, so this is no joke, man. Damn. All right, so for the first verse by Roger Waters, he says, hello, 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 hello. Is there anybody in there? Just nod if you can hear me. Is there anyone home? Come on, come on, come on, now. I hear you're feeling down. Well, I can ease your pain and get you on your feet again. Relax, relax, relax. I'll need some information first, just the basic facts. Can you show me where it hurts? What? Okay, so the annotation here says Pink is completely out of it. He's drugged, enclosed himself, and unable to function. He is needed to play the show, and the doctors are trying to get some sort of response out of his blank state. A slight nod with the head would do to show he's dozing off, but still listening. The doctor's lines are somewhat monotonous, making them sound distant. This emphasizes not only the drug state Pink is in, but also his distrust for the doctor. As the wall grows, Pink does not see any sincerity in the doctor's words and thinks of him as another cold, manipulative brick in the wall. Okay. The pain Pink feels is an emotional one rather than physical. The doctor hints at understanding this. I hear you're feeling down, which would make him a source of hope for Pink, but follows it up by acting like Pink's pain is a physical one. Can you show me where it hurts? That can be healed with drugs and medicine. I can ease your pain. This causes the potential hope brought by the doctor to begin receding, as Pink realizes the doctor is the same as everyone else in his life. And it says Roger based the song on the time when he was diagnosed with hepatitis prior to a concert. Jeez. All right, that's a pretty good breakdown of that, man. So he feels like the doctor's just like everybody else trying to drug him up again. Okay. So then we have David Gilmour's part. Well, first we have an annotation for Roger Waters. It says, unlike most songs in the album, Bassist slash vocalist Roger Waters takes the role of a doctor tasked to try to wake up Pink from his drug-induced sleep rather than Pink himself. Okay, am I crazy? Who is Pink? Pink Floyd. Syd Barrett, Nick Mason, Roger Waters, Richard Wright, and David Gilmour. So by Pink, who are they referring to? Just like the group or a person, an imaginary person, a symbolic person? Okay, next up we have David Gilmour, and it says the choruses are sung by guitarist slash vocalist David Gilmour, which is kind of interesting. In this song, he sings the part of Pink, while in Mother, he sings the part of Mother, having Roger Waters singing the part of Pink. Okay, so there seems to be a lot that I'm unaware of because I haven't heard the entire album. If you'd like me to listen to the album, please let me know. I'd be interested in doing that. All right, it says this might be due to the fact that Gilmour was heavily involved in the writing of this tune in a mostly Waters-dominated period of the band's career. You hear that, or you can hear Gilmour's original demo below. Note that it begins with this section of the song. Okay. Another reason may be that the drugged-up Pink has a calmer voice than his typical self, and Gilmour's voice is lighter and more calming than Waters. All right, lot of decisions here. Okay, there is no pain. You are receding. It says as the doctor goes on and on about easing Pink's pain, Pink finally explains to him that he is not in pain, but the opposite, at a somewhat peace. This is due to the fact that he is heavily drugged, as he goes on to explain the floating numbness he feels. This is the result of the wall. That's exactly the problem. There is no pain. He can't feel anything. That's why when the doctor says he knows his pain, Pink knows deep down he doesn't, since his problem is there is no such pain. We see that the doctor is giving him some physical medicine, so this might also refer to explaining there is no physical pain. Okay. All right. What's the wall? What's the wall, everybody? All right. A distant ship, smoke on the horizon. It says the world is dulled for Pink. In his perspective, everything is like some ephemeral, distant ship smoke on the horizon. An image that is as enigmatic as it is eloquent. Many take the line about the ship as a description of the outside world, assuming that the doctor, the world of the previous line is still the subject here. Okay, this is a comprehensive breakdown. You are coming through in waves. Your lips move, but I can't hear what you're saying. This is another reference to nodding from the effects of opiates and other hard drugs. He continues to wake up and fall back asleep, coming through in waves. It's clear that Pink, despite being awake, can't manage to make sense of what the doctor is saying. In his drug-addled state, he is only intermittently able to understand what's said to him. Okay, that makes sense. Oh my goodness. When I was a child, I had a fever. My hands felt just like two balloons. That's the line that stood out to me during the live performance. Let's see what they say here. It says his hands are swollen from an unknown illness. In the video, you can see him playing with a rat, leading us to believe that is the source of the illness. So maybe I should have watched the music video first, everybody. It says to feel that your hands are bigger than normal is also a common side effect from drugs. Okay. When I was a child, this is a quote from Roger Waters. When I was a child, I had a fever. My hands felt just like two balloons. Were autobiographical. I remember having the flu or something, an infection with a temperature of 105 and being delirious. It wasn't like the hands looked like balloons, but they looked way too big, frightening. A lot of people think those lines are about masturbation. God knows why. That is not the first thing that came to my mind. The first thing that came to my mind were, actual hands that looked like balloons. Because I knew this girl in grade school. I think she was in middle school or something. And one of her hands was enlarged. And I never asked her what her condition was, but you could tell it's something she dealt with on a daily basis. All right. It says, also, my hands felt just like two balloons. Talks about a common side effect from herpes virus. The effect is called Alice in Wonderland syndrome, and it changes one's perception of size and distance. I did not know that. Damn, this song is deep, everybody. It says, now I've got that feeling once again. I can't explain. You would not understand. This is not how I am. It says he claims he's not usually like this, but in reality, he's lying, for he is usually like this. He's been building the wall his whole life, distancing himself from the world around him, and so on. So that may be what the wall is. Basically, his wall to distance himself from the world around him. His like safety zone. All right. This line may also signify that he could be so much more. He is so much more. If only he wasn't crippled by the depression and antisocial attitude caused by his mother's smothering paranoia and the fear she instilled in him about the dangers of the outside world and other people, as well as the brutality he suffered at the hands of his sadistic teachers. Hold on. Okay, is this real? Or is this a story? Because if this is real and he infused all of this in the music, that's crazy. The paranoia that his mother had about the dangers of the outside world and the brutality he suffered at the hands of his sadistic teachers. That's abuse. That's trauma. Okay, and then they get to the hook. So he says, I have become comfortably numb. The comfortable numbness can refer to his emotional state at this point in the album. He has gone from feeling lonely and in pain to simply numb, with a hazy division between himself and the world. This whole song is actually based on a true story. Okay, there you have it. From when Roger got sick from hepatitis, which was undiagnosed prior to the concert. Okay, I think we read about that. Before his show in Philadelphia in 1977, the doctor injected him with some form of tranquilizer to enable him to perform the show. These tranquilizers made him feel comfortably numb. Okay, that makes a whole lot more sense. So it's similar to like if a football player gets injured on the field and, he goes to the sideline and they inject him with whatever they inject football players with or used to. And, he may have broken his toe, but now he can't feel his toe. So he's comfortably numb. Right? He can finish the game, but when he gets back to the locker room, that numbness is going to wear off. That makes sense. All right, then we have guitar solo 1. Oh, he had 2 solos. Let's see. Okay, it says the first of 2 emotional guitar solos performed by David Gilmour. This is a relatively short solo that quickly expresses the mental and physical state of Pink. Inarguably, these twin solos comprise one of the greatest guitar solos in the history of pop music. I believe that was the second one. And we'll get to that. It says the first one is filled with the hope and optimism of a young Pink, as demonstrated by major chords and soaring sustain, recalling the innocence of youth. Here, Gilmour constructs a sonic tapestry of unspeakable beauty. But just wait and see what happens in the second solo. Okay, I need to hear their description of that. But first, we have a couple more verses. All right, verse 2, Roger Waters. Okay. Just a little pinprick. There'll be no more, but you may feel a little sick. And now it makes sense because he's talking from the perspective of the doctor. It says Pink gets a shot, likely a stimulant or painkiller, to wake him up and remove the agonizing pain that his illness causes him. But it won't come without side effects. And of course, the scream of ah, representing said intense pain, shows Pink felt more than a pinprick while being injected. Okay. Can you stand up? Stand up, stand up. I do believe it's working. Good. That'll keep you going throughout the show. Come on, it's time to go. It says Pink is being administered meds in order to allow him to perform on the previously scheduled concert. The doctor sees he can at least stand up, so he feels Pink can get on the stage and play, and sends him into the audience. In a metaphorical sense, it could also mean Pink being adjusted to properly deal with his life, society, and relationships, which have become all a show to him. Society does not worry about the effects their meds have on Pink, so long as they work for their purpose. That is so damn true, everybody. And I don't know if I shared this, but my mom died after she overdosed on opioids that she was prescribed by a doctor. She hurt her knee in a car accident, and she had surgery. She was prescribed opioids. She struggled with depression, anxiety. So these were everything to her. She took them every day, damn near. She was also on benzodiazepine, so it was a mixed concoction. She liked to drink little wine. And she died one night, didn't see it coming. So this is very real. I like how they're breaking this down here. The doctor is sending him out there, but then they're also talking about the metaphorical aspect of things and how it could mean Pink being adjusted to properly deal with his life, society, and relationships, which have all become a show to him. Everything's a show. Society does not worry about the effects of their meds or effects they have on Pink, so long as they work for their purpose. So just like the NFL example or analogy, if you are performing, society doesn't care. They don't care if you're injured. If you can get out there and the injection or the medication can get you out there, then you better be out there. It's sort of dehumanizing. I would have never guessed that this was what this song was about. That is insane. Okay, so then we have a pre-chorus by David Gilmour, and we have a long annotation here. It says the lyrics for the second chorus are different from the first and are listed below. These different lyrics give us a deeper understanding of the pain Pink is feeling. The illness he is experiencing is definitely related to some physical illness, such as the use of heroin, but it may even be more related to depression. This childhood memory shows how he had experienced the promise of freedom. Because he is a child, he is in the most innocent and open-minded state of living since children have not been fully exposed to the pressure of society. This is shown in the fleeting glimpse. Oh, the fleeting glimpse, okay. He barely experienced that freedom because it is so difficult to avoid the pressure of society. But once he attempts to pursue that freedom, it was gone. The reason for this is explained in the next few lines. When people grow up, their childlike purity is gone, and people conform to the pressure. The dream he speaks of both represents the dreamlike quality, since he caught it out of the corner of his eye. It was never very vivid, of the freedom he caught a fleeting glimpse of, as well as the dream of becoming free from the pressures and constraints of society. He is reliving these feelings and memories of his childhood throughout this song. Man, this had to be a cathartic and damn near therapeutic journey for the members to sort of relive some of their previous experiences. It says, this comfortably numb state is something he feels due to the illness, but also because he has pushed himself into confinement to conform with society that he no longer feels anything. Yep. I'm sure a lot of superstars, a lot of musicians who've been around for a long time can relate with this feeling. All right, let's break these down line by line, and then we're going to watch one last live performance and possibly the music video. All right, there is no pain, you are receding. As the doctor goes on and on about easing Pink's pain, Pink finally explains to him that he is not in pain, but the opposite, at a somewhat peace. This is due to the fact that he is heavily drugged, as he goes on to explain the floating numbness he feels. This is the result of the wall. Okay, maybe we already read this. Yeah, we already read all this. Okay. Okay, we read up until your lips move, but I can't hear what you're saying, I think. As a child, yeah, and that's where the lyrics changed. So let's just read this last one here. You are only coming through in waves. Your lips move, but I can't hear what you're saying. When I was a child, I caught a fleeting glimpse out of the corner of my eye. I turned to look, but it was gone. I cannot put my finger on it now. The child is grown. The dream is gone. And we learned a little bit about that from the last annotation, but let's read this one. In some ways, Pink possibly took a glimpse into the future. This is also subtly said in the movie adaptation of the same name. Okay. These lines mean that the future Pink caught a glimpse of is not the future he will face or is facing. Instead, he is living a life of pain, far from achieving his own dreams. The child is grown / the dream is gone confirms this idea, for the life he had imagined when he was young is gone. All the negative actions mentioned throughout the album, criticism, humiliation, death, and more important drug addiction, are not the future Pink wanted. The childhood innocence was taken away by numbing the qualities of adulthood. It is impossible to return to that state of being. However, it's not too late to change. The future is no longer a distant dream, but the reality, and the narrator can't simply put a finger on it and ignore it, but has to realize he has grown and has to change not his future, but his present. Oh, this is powerful, everybody, man. Oh my goodness. This is life-changing for people I can imagine. Such a deep message. Talking about childhood. How we can have certain things stripped from us. And how when you enter adulthood, you sort of numb those childhood qualities and even some of your adult side, right? You show the world what they want to see. It's very cruel at times. And then you include things like injections or heroin or stimulants, things that can allow you to perform. It all leads to this feeling of being comfortably numb. That's not a happy state you want to be in. Jeez. All right, last but not least, guitar solo number 2, possibly the longest annotation of the evening. It says the song ends with this second lengthy solo by Gilmour. This is one of the most famous guitar solos in all of Pink Floyd's discography, and the one that many declare as one of the greatest of all time. It was done by piecing together parts from several takes into one big solo that comprises the best parts of all takes. David explains himself more here. I banged out 5 or 6 solos, he says. From there, I just followed my usual procedure, which is to listen back to each solo and make a chart, noting which bits are good. Is this dude a scientist? Then, by following the chart, I create one great composite solo by whipping one fader up, then another fader, jumping from phrase to phrase until everything flows together. That's the way we did it uncomfortably numb. The dude's a magician, scientist, and engineer, all in one body. Here's where Gilmour destroys the gleaming oral temple he constructed in the first solo. That first solo was barely an appetizer, everybody. This was a full 10-course meal, this second one. It says, utilizing minor chords, he spits out angry riffs, thereby painting a hideous portrait of what Pink has become. Note how the optimistic and innocent beauty of the first solo is turned on its head and bitterly crushed. The stinging soloing aptly portrays Pink's descent into complacent ambivalence. You can feel him drowning in his own ID as the song fades out. Gilmour's notes subsuming him, seeing him off as he loses the last vestiges of sanity and whatever he once was. So maybe I wasn't so wrong about seeing that portal on stage. It's almost like a transition, like the The lyrics, the vocals, the drums, the entire sound, and especially the solo guitar, all told the story of a descent into complacent ambivalence, the state of being comfortably numb. But I love how they describe it here. He spits out angry riffs and paints a hideous portrait of what Pink has become. That's what he's doing with the guitar. He's not just playing it. He's spitting out riffs and painting hideous portraits and making that thing sing and cry at the same damn time. I had absolutely no idea that things were about to get this deep. No idea about the wall. No idea about the fact that this was based on a true story by Roger Waters. What else don't I know, everybody? There's a lot beneath the surface when it comes to Pink Floyd. And I think I want to dig in. I think I want to dive in. So keep the recommendations coming, please. Right now, I feel it's only right to first watch the music video and then watch one more live performance. And then I'm going to get out of here. I know it's a longer reaction video today, but this is much needed in order to pay justice to this song. Because just lastly, when I first listened to it, I'm just like, oh, wow, okay, this is different. This is much more subtle than some of the other rock that I've heard. But after reading these lyrics, it's sort of the opposite. It's a lot more densely packed. The story behind, some of these things they're talking about and everything going on. It's, wow, I'm sort of blown away. Damn. Okay. All right. Let's check out this Comfortably Numb music video and then one last live performance. Sit back and enjoy. Here we go. Okay. So actually, I realized that the music video is a part of a movie that they have called The Wall that was released in 1982. So I'm going to hold off on watching that. It may be best to watch it all in one go if it's a movie. Please let me know, everybody. That is crazy. But as I mentioned, we do have one final live performance in Pompeii in 2016. And it says David Gilmour returns to Pompeii after 45 years. Is he from Pompeii? Huh. All right. Nonetheless, let's watch this and experience this with the added context that we now have, or at least I now have. I feel like it's going to hit completely different. Sit back and enjoy. This is Pink Floyd performing Comfortably Numb in Pompeii in 2016, or maybe just David Gilmour. Here we go. Wow.
Just not if you can hear me. Is there anyone at home? Come on.
Yeah.
I hear you feeling down. But I can ease your pain, get you on your feet again. Relax.
He's the doctor.
Just the basic facts. Can you show me where it hurts? There is no pain you are receiving.
Oh. So now this is him.
A distant ship smoke on the horizon.
Pink. Yeah.
You are only saying.
Yeah.
When I was a child,
I had a fever. Yeah.
My hands felt just like
Two balloons. Okay.
Now I've got that feeling once again. I can't explain, you will not understand. This is not how I am.
Oh, this is not how I am.
I have become comfortably numb.
Yeah, it's the doctor again.
There'll be no more. But you may feel a little sick.
Love that part.
Can you stand up?
Yeah, just stand up for me.
I do believe it's working.
I do think. Yeah, it should be working.
That'll keep you going through the show.
Yeah.
Come on, it's time to go.
Yeah, but what happens after?
There is no pain. You are receding.
Yeah, there's no physical pain, man. Come on.
A distant ship smoke on the horizon.
Yeah.
You are only coming through in waves. Your lips move, but I can't hear what you say. When I was a child, I caught a fleeting glimpse out of the corner of my eye.
Oh, his voice.
I turned to look, but it was gone. I cannot put my finger on it now. The child is gone, the dream is gone. And I have become comfortably numb.
The crowd loves that part. They're about to love this part even more. Sit back, everybody. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Yep, it's like they're in church. Absolutely unreal. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The greatest solo guitar riff I've ever heard in my life, and possibly ever will hear. Unbelievable. That's not shredding. That is destroying. That is killing and being reborn again. All in 5 to 6 minutes. He produced every single sound and emotion that one can ever produce playing an electric guitar. At one point, he went so high, he made it cry. And now thinking about what I learned, reading about how he was portraying the emotions and embodying the emotions that Pink was feeling. And by the end, you sort of level things out. And it brings you back to that comfortably numb state. But during the midst of this, it's like, oh my goodness, like you're letting the guitar speak and sang for what's inside of you. All of this just wild angst and emotion and struggle. The guitar is expressing that, and it's letting it out, at least for a brief moment. I don't know how anyone can do something like this. Do his hands get tired? How does he remember every single note, every single string? We learned a little bit about how he concocted this. It's not like a normal thing that artists do. He had to move and rearrange different pieces like an engineer. But like just there's that side. And then there's the side of things where you make it match the emotion and the story that's going on. And when you put those two things together, you have a genius record. And I feel like that's what I just listened to. This was next level, everybody. All right, what's next? What's next? I need your help. Thanks for watching. I'll be back. Bye-bye.